Today we will continue the lecture from that and we will complete the rest of the three theories of failure: maximum strain energy theory, maximum distortion energy theory, and maximum normal strain theory, my friends. Okay, so be till the end of this video. We will complete the entire theories of failure and we will also solve some examples of theories of failure. We will solve some problems related to theories of failure. Now, before I start, I want you all to hit the like button. If you have joined right now, if you have joined recently, please hit the like button and mark your presence, my friend. And let's begin with our lecture. So the third theory of failure, we have completed two theories of failure. The third theory of failure is known as maximum strain energy theory. Maximum strain energy theory, also known as Hayes theory. This is the third theory of failure, my friends. We have seen two theories of failure yesterday: normal stress theory and shear stress theory. This is the third one, maximum strain energy theory or Hayes theory, my friend. Now, first of all, understand what is strain energy. I have already explained strain energy in strength of material, but I will repeat it again. Okay, I will repeat it again for you. So let's say we have a specimen. Let's say we have a specimen subjected to uniaxial load. Let's say we have a specimen subjected to uniaxial load. Okay, subjected to uniaxial load sigma. Okay, the stress is sigma. What will be the stress strain curve, my friend? What will be the stress strain curve? Let's say it is a ductile material, so the stress strain curve will look like this. Initially it will be linear and then it will become curved, right? Now at any point, if you calculate the strain energy, what is strain energy? It is the energy stored due to strain. When you apply load, there will be some deformation, there will be some strain. So the energy stored inside the material due to this strain is known as strain energy. So at any point, let's say at this point, you want to calculate the strain energy. Okay, let's say at this point you want to calculate the strain energy. So how will you calculate the strain energy? It will be equal to the area under this curve. It will be equal to the area under this curve. We have already discussed this in strength of material. I am just repeating it. So this is the strain energy per unit volume. Okay, this is the strain energy per unit volume, which is denoted by U. Okay, so what will be the equation, my friend? Let's say this is the stress sigma and this is the strain epsilon. So it will be half into sigma into epsilon. Now my friend, let's say this point is on this linear curve. Okay, this point is on this straight line, means the Hooke's law is valid. So sigma is equal to what? E into epsilon, or epsilon equals to sigma by E. I can write epsilon equals to sigma by E according to Hooke's law. Okay, according to Hooke's law, epsilon equals to sigma by E. So from here, what will be the equation of U, my friend? Sigma square by 2E. This is what? Strain energy per unit volume. It is strain energy per unit volume, my friend. Okay, but this is the strain energy in case of uniaxial load. There is only one load in one direction. Okay, but in case of multi-axial loading, let's say we have triaxial load. Okay, let's say we have triaxial load, means the load is acting in all three directions, and let's say the principal stresses are sigma 1, sigma 2 and sigma 3. Okay, let's say the principal stresses are sigma 1, sigma 2 and sigma 3. Then in this case, what will be the strain energy, my friend? You can't use this equation. This is for uniaxial loading. In case of biaxial or triaxial loading, how do we calculate strain energy per unit volume? So in this direction, my friend, in this direction, strain energy will be half into sigma 1 into epsilon 1. Okay, this is due to sigma 1. Then due to sigma 2, it will be half into sigma 2 into epsilon 2. And due to sigma 3, it will be half into sigma 3 into epsilon 3. So this sum of half sigma 1 epsilon 1, half sigma 2 epsilon 2, half sigma 3 epsilon 3 will be equal to strain energy in case of triaxial loading. In case of uniaxial loading, it is half sigma into epsilon. In case of triaxial loading, this is the equation of strain energy, my friend. This is the equation of strain energy. Okay. Now, my friend, I can put the values of epsilon 1, epsilon 2 and epsilon 3. What will be epsilon 1, my friend? Sigma 1 by E minus mu. Sigma 2 by E minus mu. Sigma 3 by E. Similarly, my friend, epsilon 2 and epsilon 3 can also be written. Epsilon 2 and epsilon 3 can also be written. Epsilon 2 will be sigma 2 by E minus mu sigma 1 by E minus mu sigma 3 by E, and epsilon 3 will be sigma 3 by E minus mu sigma 1 by E minus mu sigma 2 by E. So these are the equations, these are the relation between sigma 1 2 3 and epsilon 1 2 3. We have seen this in strength of material. In strength of material, in case of complex strength, I told you the relation between sigma 1 2 3 and epsilon 1 2 3. This is also Hooke's law. This is also Hooke's law and this is also Hooke's law. Now put the values of epsilon 1 2 3 in this equation. Put the values of epsilon 1 2 3 in this equation. What will you get, my friend? Put these values here and solve the equation. What you will get, my friend? What you will get? You will get this equation. U equal to 1 by 2E sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square plus sigma 3 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 2 plus 2 3 plus 3 1. This is the equation of strain energy per unit volume in case of triaxial loading, my friend. Okay, in case of triaxial loading, this is the equation of strain energy. Note this down. This is the equation of strain energy in case of uniaxial load, and this is the equation of strain energy in case of triaxial loading, my friend. Okay, so do you understand this? Do you understand this? Okay, my friend. So we have understood what is strain energy and we have understood what is the equation of strain energy, right? Now, my friend, let's discuss maximum strain energy theory. So what is maximum strain energy theory? According to strain energy theory, my friend, according to strain energy theory, a machine element will fail. A machine element, this is a machine element, okay? This is a machine element. This is your specimen, okay? This is your specimen, okay? And this is your machine element. Specimen is subjected to uniaxial load and machine element is subjected to triaxial load, okay? At the time of failure, what will be the stress in specimen? SYT, okay? We are assuming it is ductile material. So at the time of failure, what will be the stress? SYT, okay? Now, my friend, according to maximum strain energy theory, machine element will fail if U of machine element, if U of machine element will become equals to U of specimen at time of failure. U of specimen at time of failure, okay? At the time of failure, stress is SYT. So U of specimen at the time of failure, okay? So this, if this happens, if the strain energy of this becomes equal to strain energy of this, then the machine element will fail, my friend, okay? Now, we don't want our machine element to fail, okay? We want to save the machine element. So for safe design, what will be the criteria, my friend? If you want to save this from failure, then the U of machine element should be less than the U of specimen, okay? If this reaches this value, then it will fail. So in order to save it, U of this should be less than U of this. Do you understand this? Now put the values in the equation. What is the U of machine element? This is the U of machine element. 1 by 2E sigma 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 2 plus 2 3 plus 3 1. Okay, this is the U of the machine element subjected to triaxial load. This should be less than U of specimen at time of failure. So at the time of failure, what will be the U of specimen? At the time of failure means at the time of yielding. What will be U? In case of uniaxial loading, what is the equation? Sigma square by 2E. And at the time of failure, what will be sigma? SYT. So this will be SYT square by 2E. Sigma square by 2E. And at time of failure, sigma will be SYT, my friend. Okay. So if this is less than this, no failure. It will remain safe, my friend. Okay. Now, my friend, It should be less than this value. But how much less? We talked about it yesterday. If I only say that sigma should be less than 300, then you cannot exactly calculate the dimension. I have to tell you less means how much less, whether it should be 1/3, 1/4, 1/10, how much less. So in order to do that, what do we do? We introduce factor of safety, my friend. Okay, so this 2e and 2e will be cancelled. It will become sigma 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 2 plus 2 3 plus 3 1. This should be equal to, now my friend, don't write it like this, SYT square by FOS. Okay, this is wrong. Don't write it like this. Why? Because factor of safety is against SYT. Okay, factor of safety is against SYT, not against SYT square or SYT cube. Whenever you have factor of safety, you have to divide SYT or SUT by factor of safety, not SYT square or SUT square. So what you will do? It will become this, SYT by FOS whole square. Divide SYT by FOS. Okay, whatever power of SYT is, doesn't matter. Divide SYT by FOS. So it will become SYT by FOS whole square. This is the equation according to maximum strain energy. This is the relation between stresses and strength. What are these? These are stresses. What is this? This is the strength. I told you yesterday, we need a relation between stress and strength in order to find the dimension. In order to find the dimensions of the machine element, we need the relation between stresses and the strength of material, my friend. So this is the relation according to maximum strain energy theory. Okay, note this equation down, note this relation down, my friend, and don't forget to hit the like button. If you have recently joined this class, please go and hit the like button first, okay, and then continue. All right, my friend. So this is the equation. Now I told you yesterday, we need to see three things. We need to memorize three things about any theory of failure. First, this name. This name is very important. I told you yesterday, remembering this name is very important, okay. Second thing is this equation. So we have seen the name, we have seen the equation. The third thing is the graph of this theory of failure, the diagram, the safe region of this theory of failure. Okay, what is safe region? Yesterday we talked about it. What is safe region? It is the graphical representation of the equation of theory of failure. Okay, if you plot the equation of theory of failure on a graph, then that is known as safe region. Okay, if your point is inside the region, it is safe. If the stresses are inside the region, they are safe. If they are outside the region, they are fail. Okay, so let's draw the safe region for this theory of failure. Okay, now my friend, in order to draw the safe region, what do we assume? We assume that sigma 3 is 0. It is subjected to biaxial stress. So sigma 3 is 0. And if sigma 3 is 0, what will be the equation of strain energy theory? Sigma 1 square plus 2 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 sigma 2 equals to SYT by FOS whole square. And I told you yesterday, on the boundary of safe region, FOS is 1. Okay, we need the boundary of safe region, and on the boundary FOS is 1. So I can write it like this. So this is the equation of strain energy theory in case of biaxial stress. Sigma 3 is 0. Look at this equation, my friend. Look at this equation. This mathematical equation is the equation of what? It is the equation of an ellipse, my friend. This is the equation of an ellipse. So if you draw this ellipse on this graph, you will get an ellipse like this. You will get an ellipse like this. Okay, you will get an ellipse like this. Look at these points, my friend. What will be these points? Put sigma 2 equals to 0. Put sigma 2 equals to 0. What you will get? Sigma 1 will be equal to how much? Sigma 2 equals to 0. Sigma 1 will be plus minus SYT. So this is plus SYT. This is minus SYT. Put sigma 1 equals to 0. Sigma 1 equals to 0. What you will get? Sigma 2 equals to plus minus SYT. So these points are also plus SYT and minus SYT. Remember this thing, my friend. All the safe region intersect these axes, sigma 1 axis and sigma 2 axis at plus minus SYT. Any safe region, it will cut sigma 1 and sigma 2 at plus minus SYT, plus SYT minus SYT, plus SYT minus SYT. Any safe region, okay? It doesn't matter which theory of failure. For every theory of failure, it will happen, okay? Now, this is your safe region, my friend. This is your safe region. Inside this is your safe region. If your point is inside this safe region, it is safe. Outside this safe region means fail. On the boundary, factor of safety equals to 1. On this boundary, factor of safety will be equal to 1. Inside this boundary, factor of safety will be more than 1. Do you understand this? So this is the safe region according to maximum strain energy theory, my friend. Okay. So we have seen the equation of strain energy theory. We have seen the safe region of strain energy theory. So this was the third theory of failure. Let's move on to the fourth theory of failure, which is very important, my friend. This fourth theory of failure is very important. Fourth theory of failure, which we are going to discuss, is a very important theory of failure. A lot of questions are based on this theory of failure. Okay. So this fourth theory of failure is known as maximum distortion energy, also known as shear strain energy. Distortion is also known as shear strain energy theory. Okay, distortion is also known as shear strain energy. So maximum distortion energy or maximum shear strain energy, one and the same thing, and it was given by von Mises. So it is also known as von Mises theory, one of the most important theory of failure. Okay, von Mises theory. So what is this theory of failure, my friend? In order to discuss that, first we need to understand what is distortion energy or shear strain energy. Okay, what is distortion? Let's first understand this. Okay, so let's say we have a machine element subjected to normal stresses as well as shear stresses. Okay, like this. Okay, now under the stresses, what is going to happen? This machine element is going to deform. Let's say this is the element, it is a rectangular element, so this rectangle is going to deform. Okay, now when it will deform, two things are going to happen. When it will deform, two things are going to happen. Let's say this is the initial size. Okay, let's say this is the initial shape and size. So first, the size of this element is going to change. Okay, size of this element is going to change. Earlier the element was this much, now the size is changed. Okay, this is what? Change in size, or you can say volume, change in volume. Okay, this is change in size, or you can say change in volume. Okay, the second thing that is going to happen is, initially it was rectangular like this. Now my friend, due to the shear, it will distort. Due to the shear, it will distort like this. Sorry, it will distort like this. Okay, so it will be distorted like this. This is what distortion. This is known as distortion, or my friend, it is also known as change in shape, my friend. Okay, so total deformation, any deformation in the body can be divided into two parts. Okay, there is change in size and there is change in shape. Size is changing means volume is changing and the shape is changing. See, this is distorted now. Initially it was like this, initially it was like rectangular, and now it has become like this. Okay, so this is what distortion or change in shape. So my friend, what is strain energy? Strain energy is the energy stored due to deformation. Okay, strain energy is energy stored due to strain or due to deformation. So that strain energy U can be divided into two components. strain energy due to change in size plus strain energy due to change in shape, my friend. Okay, total strain energy, this is total strain energy. Okay, this is total strain energy, and this total strain energy is divided into two components, my friend. Okay, this is what strain energy due to change in size. It is known as volumetric strain energy. Okay, volumetric strain energy. This is due to what? Change in size. And this is due to what? Change in shape, my friend. Okay, this is known as distortion energy, also known as shear strain energy. Okay, this is volumetric strain energy and this is shear strain energy. Do you understand the concept, my friend? Do you understand what is distortion energy? When there will be deformation, two things can happen. Size can change, volume or size can change, shape can change. Okay, so change in size, due to this, whatever energy is stored, it is known as volumetric strain energy, and due to shape change, due to distortion, whatever energy is stored, it is known as distortion energy theory. Okay, this is distortion energy. Okay, so in this case we are not going to consider the total strain energy. In the last theory we considered total strain energy. In this particular theory we will consider only distortion energy. Okay, we will consider only distortion energy. In last theory we assumed that it was failing due to the total strain energy. This time we will assume that machine element is not failing due to change in size, it is only failing due to change in shape, my friend. Okay, due to this it is going to fail, my friend. Okay, so my friends, in this theory of failure we are going to consider the distortion energy. Total, out of total energy we will only consider distortion energy, my friend. Okay, now we have seen the equation of total strain energy. In last theory we saw the equation of total strain energy. Let me give you the equation of distortion energy, my friend. Okay, let me give you the equation of distortion energy. So let's say we have a machine element subjected to triaxial loading and there are principal stresses sigma 1, sigma 2 and sigma 3. Okay, there are principal stresses sigma 1, 2 and 3, my friend. Okay, so in this case what is the distortion energy? It is given by 1 plus mu by 3e, sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square plus sigma 3 square minus sigma 1 2 plus sigma 2 3 plus sigma 3 1. Okay, so this is the equation of distortion energy in case of triaxial loading, my friend. Okay, you have seen the equation of strain energy. This is the equation of distortion energy per unit volume. Okay, it is per unit volume. Now my friend, in case of the specimen subjected to uniaxial loading, what will be the distortion energy, my friend? At the time of failure, in this case, what will be distortion energy, my friend? See, in this case sigma 2 and 3 are 0. Okay, in this case, in specimen when there is only uniaxial loading, sigma 2 and 3 are 0 and sigma 1 is SYT. There is only one sigma, so that will be sigma 1 and other two sigma will be 0. So put the value here, what you will get? All these terms will be 0. Only you will get sigma 1 square. So it will become 1 plus mu by 3e into SYT square. Sigma 2 and 3 are 0. So all this will become 0. You will only get this sigma 1 square. Okay. Now my friend, what will be your equation? My friend? It will become this. According to maximum distortion energy theory, machine element will fail if UD of machine element becomes equal to UD of specimen at the time of failure. UD of specimen at the time of failure. Distortion energy of specimen at the time of failure, my friend. Okay. So when the failure will happen, when the failure will occur, according to this theory, the failure will occur if the distortion energy of this case becomes equal to distortion energy of this case at the time of failure, my friend. Okay. So what is distortion energy of this case, my friend? This. Okay. It should be less than the distortion energy of this case. Okay. In order to save the specimen, it should be less than. Okay. Now put the values, my friend. Put the values here and solve it. 1 plus mu by 3e, 1 plus mu by 3. It will get cancelled. So it will become sigma 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square minus sigma 1 2 plus 2 3 plus 3 1. And my friend, if you remove this less than sign and if you introduce factor of safety, what you will get? Not SYT square by FOS. I explained last time. It will not be like this, SYT square by FOS. What you will get? SYT by FOS whole square. Just put the value in the equation, okay? And this is the equation according to distortion energy theory. Very easy to remember. If you remember strain energy theory, you can remember this very easily. In case of strain energy theory, the equation is almost same. Only here, out of bracket, you will get 2 mu. In case of strain energy theory, it is sigma 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square minus 2 mu into this. In case of distortion energy theory, just put mu equals to 0.5. In case of distortion energy theory, in the equation of strain energy, just put mu equals to 0.5 and you will get this equation. So very easy to remember, very easy to remember. Okay, you don't have to remember both the equations. In case of strain energy, you have 2 mu here, just put mu equals to 0.5 and it will be converted into distortion energy theory, my friend. Okay, so very easily you can remember the equation. Okay, so do you understand this? Do you understand it? If you understand it clearly, my friend, hit the like button right now. I want you to hit the like button right now, my friend. Okay, as hard as you can. Hit the like button, break the like button today, okay? So as hard as you can, hit the like button and show your appreciation, show your love towards me. Please. Alright, my friend. So this was the fourth theory of failure, maximum distortion energy theory, my friend. Okay. Now we have seen the equation, but we also need to plot this equation on the graph. Okay. We also need to plot this equation on the graph. Okay. So if you plot this equation on the graph, what you will get? What you will get, my friend? Let's understand that. Now, my friend, what is the equation of distortion energy theory in case of biaxial stress? If sigma 3 is equal to 0, what you will get? Sigma 1 square plus 2 square minus sigma 1 sigma 2 equal to SYT square. FOS we will take 1. Why? Because we want the boundary of safe region. Okay, we want to draw the boundary of safe region. And on the boundary, factor of safety is 1. Okay. So this is sigma 1. This is sigma 2. Now again, my friend, this is also the equation of ellipse. This is also the equation of ellipse. Very similar to strain energy theory. Okay. So you will get this same shape. Okay. You will get the same shape. Only the size will be different. Okay. The size of strain energy theory and distortion energy theory will be different. Otherwise, the shape is same. This is also elliptical and this will also cross sigma 1 and sigma 2 at the same points. SYT minus SYT. SYT minus SYT. I told you every safe region will intersect these two axes at the same point, plus minus SYT. Okay. So this is the safe region according to distortion energy theory. Note this down, my friend. Note this down right now. Note this down. Note the equation. Note the diagram. You have to remember the equation. You also have to remember the diagram. Okay. All right, my friend. So we have seen 4 theories of failure. Okay. We have seen 4 theories of failure. Let's move on to the last theory of failure. The last theory of failure, maximum normal strain theory. Maximum normal strain theory, also known as maximum normal strain theory, also known as Saint Venant's theory, also known as Saint Venant's theory, my friend. Okay, this is the last theory of failure, the fifth theory of failure. After this, I will give you a very amazing some very amazing concepts related to theories of failure. Okay, after this, I will explain some amazing concepts related to theories of failure, and then we will solve some numericals also. Okay, so this is the last theory of failure. According to this theory of failure, according to this theory of failure, when the machine element will fail, when the maximum normal strain, normal strain means epsilon. So maximum normal strain, sorry for this. So maximum normal strain means what? Maximum normal strain means epsilon maximum. So when the epsilon maximum of the machine element will become equal to epsilon maximum of specimen, then it will fail, my friend. Okay, now my friend, what will be epsilon maximum in this case? In this case, epsilon maximum will be equal to simple direct Hooke's law, SYT by E. Epsilon maximum will be equal to SYT by E. What will be epsilon maximum here, my friend? What will be epsilon maximum here? It will be maximum of sigma 1, epsilon 1, epsilon 2 and epsilon 3. Epsilon 1, 2, 3 are what? Principal strain. Just like principal stress, these are principal strain. How will you calculate principal strain? First you calculate principal stress. Then use this equation. Sigma 1 equals to epsilon 1 equals to sigma 1 by E minus mu sigma 2 by E minus mu sigma 3 by E. Similarly, you can calculate other principal strains also. If sigma 1 is greater, if sigma 1 is maximum here, then epsilon 1 will be maximum here. Do you understand that? Alright, my friend. So you can find sigma 1, 2, 3 and then you can find epsilon 1, 2, 3. Okay. And maximum of epsilon 1, 2, 3 will be epsilon maximum. Okay. So this is the epsilon maximum of machine element and this is epsilon maximum of this specimen. Now my friend, according to this theory, when the machine element will fail, when epsilon maximum of machine element will become equal to epsilon maximum of specimen at the time of failure. So for safe design, epsilon maximum of machine element should be less than epsilon maximum of specimen at the time of failure. Okay, when the specimen is failing, at that time what will be epsilon max? Okay, so epsilon max of machine element will be maximum of epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3. This will be equal to SYT by E factor of safety. Okay, how much less? That will depend upon factor of safety. So this is the equation according to maximum normal strain theory. Maximum of epsilon 1, 2 or 3. Anyone can be maximum. Okay, if sigma 1 is maximum, epsilon 1 will be maximum. If sigma 2 is maximum, epsilon 2 will be maximum. So anyone can be maximum. So maximum of epsilon 1, 2 or 3 will be equal to SYT by E FOS, my friend. So this is the equation according to maximum normal strain theory, my friend. So this is the fifth equation. We have seen 4 equations in 4 theories of failure. This is the fifth equation, my friend. Okay, now let's draw the safe region of maximum normal strain theory. Let's draw the safe region. Let's draw the safe region. So now, my friend, we have to draw the safe region. So in order to draw the safe region, what is our assumption? Sigma 3 equals to 0. Okay, so sigma 3 is 0. So either epsilon 1 will be maximum or epsilon 2 will be maximum. So what will be epsilon 1? sigma 1 by E minus mu sigma 2 by E. What will be epsilon 2? Sigma 2 by E minus mu sigma 1 by E, right? These are the two equations. Okay, now my friend, there can be two cases. Okay, there can be two cases, my friend. There can be two cases. Either this one will be epsilon max or this one will be epsilon max, right? Let's consider the first case. Okay, let's say epsilon 1 is greater than epsilon 2. Okay, let's say epsilon 1 is greater than epsilon 2. What is our equation? Epsilon maximum equals to SYT by EFOS. Now I told you we need to draw the boundary, and on the boundary, what is factor of safety? On the boundary, factor of safety is 1. And if epsilon 1 is greater than epsilon 2, what will be epsilon max? Epsilon 1, right? And which one is epsilon 1? Sigma 1 by E minus mu sigma 2 by E. Now E cancel. What you will get? Sigma 1 minus mu sigma 2 equal to SYT. Sigma 1 minus mu sigma 2 equals to SYT. What is this, my friend? What is this? This is the equation of a straight line. This is the equation of straight line. Y equals to mx plus c. It is the equation of straight line. Let's call it straight line number 1. Okay, let's call it straight line number 1. Okay, now my friend, draw the straight line here. Okay, so if you put sigma 2 equals to 0, if you put sigma 2 equals to 0, what you will get? Sigma 1 equals to SYT, sigma 1 equals to SYT somewhere here. And if you put sigma 1 equals to 0, what you will get? Sigma 2 equals to minus SYT by mu, minus SYT by mu. Okay, now minus SYT by mu, where will you get it? Minus means here. Okay, this is minus sigma 2, this is plus sigma 2. So minus SYT by mu, it will be somewhere here. Okay, so you'll get one straight line like this. Okay, you'll get one straight line like this. This is your straight line number 1. Okay, this is your straight line number 1. Okay, now my friend, here I am assuming that epsilon 1 is tensile, but it can also be compressive. So the second equation will be this, minus SYT. Okay, it is not necessary that epsilon should be tensile. It can also be compressive, right? If your stresses are compressive, then epsilon 1 will also be compressive. So if the epsilon is tensile, then you will get plus SYT. If it is compressive, then you will get minus SYT. Now plot this here. What you will get, my friend? If sigma 2 is 0, sigma 1 will be minus SYT. And if sigma 1 is 0, sigma 2 will be SYT by mu. So you will get this. Minus SYT, SYT by mu, you will get this. You will get this. Okay, this is the second straight line. This is the second straight line, my friend. Okay, this is the second straight line. So do you understand this? We are assuming the first case. If epsilon 1 is greater than epsilon 2. Okay, but it can be tensile, it can also be compressive. Okay, so we are getting these two straight lines. Okay, now my friend, second case. Second case. What will be the second case? What will be case 2? Case 2 will be epsilon 2 is greater than epsilon 1. Okay, so in this case, you will get another two equations. Okay, you will get this equation, sigma 2 minus mu sigma 1 equal to SYT. If epsilon 2 is greater than epsilon 1. Okay, let's call it third equation. Okay, let's call it third equation. So what will be the third equation, my friend? What will be the third straight line? If you put sigma 2 equals to 0, what you will get? Sigma 1 equals to minus SYT by mu. And if you put sigma 1 equals to 0, sigma 2 will be equal to plus SYT. So you will get this straight line. You will get this straight line. This will be your third straight line. Okay, this will be your third straight line. And the fourth straight line, if epsilon 2 is negative, compressive, so it will be sigma 2 minus mu sigma 1 equals to minus of SYT. This will be the fourth equation. Okay, now my friend, put the values here. Sigma 2 equals to 0. What you will get? Sigma 1 equals to plus SYT by mu, sorry, sigma 1 will be equals to plus SYT by mu, and sigma 1 equals to 0, sigma 2 will be minus SYT. Okay, so we'll get this straight line. This will be the fourth straight line. Okay, now my friend, look at the common area between four straight lines. These are the four straight lines. Look at the common area. This is the common area. This is the common area. This is the common area. This point, this point, this point, this point. What will it be? SYT, SYT, minus SYT, minus SYT. I told you, every safe region cuts sigma 1 and sigma 2 at plus minus SYT, my friend. Okay. So these are the four straight lines. By drawing these four straight lines on the graph, you will get this safe line. You will get this safe region. Okay. You will get this safe region. So you just have to remember the shape of the safe region. Okay. You just have to remember the shape of the safe region, my friend. Okay. So do you understand the 5 theories of failure? Let's write down all 5 theories of failure. Let's write down the equation of all 5 theories of failure, and let's write down the shape also. Okay. Let's revise our concept. Let's revise our concept. Let's write down all 5 theories of failure, and let's write down the shapes also. Okay. So what was the first theory, my friend? I will ask you the name. Okay. I will ask you the name. What was the first theory of failure? The first theory of failure. What was the name of the person who gave the first theory of failure? Maximum normal stress theory. It was Rankine's theory. It was Rankine's theory. Okay. And what was the equation, my friend? What was the equation? Sigma maximum equal to SYT by FOS. This was the equation. And what was the safe region, my friend? What was the safe region? This was the safe region. This was the safe region. Okay. This was the safe region of Rankine's theory. Then, my friend, Guest theory. Tresca and Guest theory. Which one is Tresca and Guest theory, my friend? Maximum shear stress theory, right? So what was the equation? Tau max equals to SYT by 2 FOS. Okay. Tau max equals to SYT by 2 FOS. And what was the safe region, my friend? This was the safe region. This was the safe region. This was the safe region, right? This was the safe region. The third, Hayes theory. Today we saw the third theory, Hayes theory, which is nothing but maximum strain energy theory. What was the equation? Sigma 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square, then minus 2 mu. Sigma 1 2 plus 2 3 plus 3 1. This should be equal to what? SYT by FOS whole square. Okay. This is the equation according to Hayes theory or maximum strain energy theory. And what was the safe region, my friend? It was elliptical, right? It was elliptical like this. It was elliptical like this. Okay. Then fourth theory, my friend, von Mises theory. And I told you, very easy to remember the equation. Very easy to remember. In this equation, just put mu equals to 0.5. So this one will become 1. So sigma 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square minus sigma 1 2 plus 2 3 plus 3 1 equals to SYT by FOS whole square. And what is the safe region? Same, ellipse. Okay. Then, my friend, the fifth theory, Saint Venant's theory. Saint Venant's theory. The fifth theory, Saint Venant's theory. What was the equation, my friend? What was the equation? Epsilon max equals to SYT by EFOS. Epsilon maximum equals to SYT by EFOS. And what is the safe region, my friend? This is the safe region. This is the safe region. This is the safe region. Okay. So you have to remember all these names. You have to remember all these equations. And you have to remember all these shapes. Okay. So these many things you have to remember, my friend. Look at this. What you have to memorize, that I am telling you. Okay. So you have to remember the names of every theory of failure. You have to remember the equation of every theory of failure. and you also have to remember the shapes of their safe region. Okay, so this much you have to memorize. Okay, now my friend, we will see some concepts related to theories of failure. So the first thing that you need to understand is we have 5 theories of failure, and according to every theory there will be a different equation. Okay, according to every theory there will be a different equation. So which theory we will use in which case? Which theory we will use in which case? How will we decide whether we have to use normal stress theory or shear stress theory or strain energy theory or one Mises theory? Which theory we will use? How will we decide that? So my friend, it will depend upon the type of material. Okay, there are 2 types of material, ductile and brittle. Ductile material and brittle material. So it will depend upon the type of material, whether you have ductile material or brittle material, which theory we will use. There is different theory for ductile material, different theory for brittle material. Okay, so let's understand which theory we will use in which case. So first we will talk about brittle materials. Okay, we will first talk about brittle materials. Okay, my friend, in case of brittle material, what will be the order of the strength? There are 3 types of strength, my friend. Strength in tension, strength in compression. See, strength in tension. Okay, let's call it SUT. Strength in compression, let's call it SUC. And strength in shear, let's call it SUS. SUS. Okay, ultimate strength in tension, ultimate strength in compression, ultimate strength in shear. So in case of brittle material, what is the order, my friend? We have seen this in strength of material. What is the order of strength? For brittle material, maximum strength is in compression, then in shear, and then in tension. So brittle materials are weakest in tension, means normal stress. Okay, these are normal stress, this is shear stress. So brittle material fail under tension, brittle material fail under normal stress, tension. Okay, they do not fail under shear, they fail under tension, my friend. Okay, so my friend, for brittle material, which theory is suitable? For brittle material, for brittle materials, note this down, very important point. For brittle material, which theory will be suitable? Maximum normal stress theory. For brittle material, maximum normal stress theory is suitable. Okay, means maximum normal stress theory will give you the most accurate result. Okay, you will not get 100% accurate result because none of these theory is 100% true. All these are assumptions. But in case of brittle material, which assumption will be very good? Most suitable theory will be maximum normal stress theory. And why? Because they fail under normal stress. Okay, this is the least strength. Okay, this is the least strength. They are weakest in tension, so they will fail due to tension, means normal stress. So that's why normal stress theory will be suitable. Okay, you can't use shear stress theory. In this case, you can't use shear stress theory. Why? Look at this, my friend. Shear strength is greater than tensile strength. So they will not fail in shear. They will not fail in shear. They will fail in tension. They will not fail due to shear stress. They will not fail due to tau maximum. They are going to fail due to sigma maximum. So if they are going to fail due to sigma maximum, then which theory will be suitable? Maximum normal stress theory. Do you understand this? Do you understand this much? Very good if you have understood it. Okay. So this is a very important concept, my friend. You should know. You will get theory question. Which theory will be most suitable for brittle material? So for brittle material, which theory is suitable? Normal stress theory. And why? What is the reason behind it? The reason is that their strength in shear is more, but their strength in tension is less. So they are likely to fail under normal stress. Okay, they will likely to fail. They will fail due to sigma maximum. So that's why we will use maximum normal stress theory. Okay, so this was about brittle material. Let's talk about ductile material. Now in case of ductile material, the story will change. Okay, In case of ductile material, strength in tension and compression are same. This is yield strength. Ductile material fail under yield. Okay, so strength in tension, yield strength in tension and compression are almost same, and they are greater than shear strength. So ductile materials are weakest in shear. Ductile materials are weakest in shear. They will not fail under tension. They will fail under shear, my friend. Okay. Now, which theories are based on shear stress? There are two theories which are based on shear. Maximum shear stress theory. Okay. Maximum shear stress theory and maximum distortion energy theory. Maximum shear stress theory and maximum distortion energy theory. Okay, now my friend, we have two theories. Okay, we have two theories. So which theory will you prefer? In case of ductile material, sometimes this theory is used and sometimes this theory is used. Both theories are suitable because both are based on shear. This is also based on shear. This is also, distortion means what? Shear. Okay, distortion means shear. So this is also based on shear. So both theories are based on shear. But which theory will be suitable for us, that we have to see. So in some cases we use this theory, in some cases we use this theory. What is the difference between these two theories? And this topic is very important. Mark my word, my friend. You will see a lot of conceptual problems based on this concept. Okay, what is the difference between distortion energy theory and shear stress theory? Both are used for ductile material. Okay, but there is a difference. Distortion energy theory is more accurate. Okay, distortion energy theory is more accurate. Okay, so distortion energy theory is the accurate theory, but my friend, shear stress theory is simpler and safer. It is simple to use and it is safe to use. Okay, now first of all, let me explain why it is simple, and then I will explain why it is safer. Okay, why it is simple than von Mises theory. Look at their equation, my friend. Look at their equation. What is the equation of shear stress theory? Tau maximum equals to SYT by 2 FOS. Okay, and which one will be tau max? Maximum of sigma 1 minus 2 by 2, 2 minus 3 by 2, 3 minus 1 by 2. Let's say sigma 1 minus 2 by 2. This is tau maximum. Let's say, for example, equal to SYT by 2 FOS. Okay, so this is the equation of shear stress theory. What is the equation of von Mises theory? Sigma 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square minus sigma 1 2 plus 2 3 plus 3 1. Now my friend, tell me which theory, which equation are easier to solve? Between these two, which equation is easier to solve? Which will be simpler to solve? This equation, right? This equation will be easier to solve. Okay, the computational time in this equation will be more. Okay, this equation is going to take more time to solve. This equation is going to take less time to solve. Okay, so which equation will be easier? This one. So it is simpler. Now my friend, the second point, why shear stress theory is safer. So in order to understand that, we have to compare their safe region. Okay, now this is a very interesting concept, my friend. This is a very interesting concept, comparison of safe region. Okay, I told you yesterday that I will explain comparison of safe region. Okay, so today I am going to explain what will be the comparison of their safe region. Okay, and this is a very important concept, my friend. This is a very important concept. You will see theory questions. You will see theory questions based on this. Okay, now my friend, first we will draw maximum shear stress theory. Okay, so what is the safe region of maximum shear stress theory? The safe region of maximum shear stress theory is this. This is the safe region of maximum shear stress theory. SYT, okay, minus SYT, SYT minus SYT, right? This is the safe region of maximum shear stress theory. Yesterday we saw this. Now I will draw the safe region of von Mises theory. Okay, von Mises theory. So in case of von Mises theory, we get an ellipse, and the ellipse is like this. The ellipse will be drawn like this, my friend. The ellipse will be drawn like this. Now, my friend, look at their safe region. Look at their safe region. Okay, look at their safe region. Look at their safe region. The safe region of shear stress theory is inside von Mises theory. Okay, now let me explain the comparison. Let's say a point is somewhere here. Okay, this is sigma 1, this is sigma 2. So let's say we have put some value of sigma 1 and sigma 2, and the point is here. So what does it mean? It is safe from von Mises theory. It is also safe from shear stress theory. But let's say the point is here. What does it mean? It is safe from von Mises theory, but it is not safe from shear stress theory, right? If the point is here, it is safe from von Mises theory. Look at this. Boundary of von Mises is here. It is inside the boundary of von Mises, but it is outside the boundary of maximum shear. Okay. So according to von Mises theory, it is safe, but according to shear stress theory, it will fail. Now, my friend, let's say you want to save it. Let's say you want to save it from shear stress theory. What you have to do? Let's say you want to save it from shear stress theory. What you have to do? You have to move this point inside this region, right? You have to, right now this point is outside shear stress theory. Right now it is outside shear stress theory. If you want to save it according to shear stress theory, you have to move this point inside. Now, my friend, in order to move this point inside, what you have to do? You have to reduce the stress. You have to reduce the stress. And how will you reduce the stress? Simple, my friend. Let's say there is axial stress. What will be axial stress? Force upon area. So in order to reduce stress, what you will increase? You will increase the area, right? In order to reduce the stress, you will increase the area. So in order to move this point inside, in order to move this point, right now this point is outside. Let's say I want the point here, inside shear stress theory. Okay. So what you have to do? You have to reduce sigma 1 and sigma 2, and in order to reduce stress, you need to increase dimension, area, or you can say dimension. You have to increase the dimension. So if you increase the dimension, then it will save from maximum shear stress theory. So my friend, what does it mean? It means that if you design the component using von Mises theory as well as shear stress theory, then in case of von Mises theory, dimensions will be less, and in case of shear stress theory, dimensions will be more. In order to keep it safe from shear stress theory, dimension should be more, and if you are using more dimension, means you are safer, right? Let's say according to von Mises theory, let's say you are calculating diameter. Okay, so diameter according to von Mises is, let's say, 90 mm, and diameter according to shear stress theory is, let's say, 100 mm. Okay, and if you are using 100 mm, means you are safer. Okay, you need 90, but you are using 100, so you are safer. Okay, you are safer. So do you understand the difference between shear stress theory and von Mises theory? In case of von Mises theory, dimensions will be less. Okay, if it is here, it is safe from von Mises, dimensions are less. But in order to save it from shear stress theory, you have to move it inside. Means stresses should be reduced, means dimension should be increased. So it will be safe from von Mises at 90 mm. But according to shear stress theory, to save it, it should be 100 mm. So in which case you are getting more dimension? In case of shear stress theory. So do you understand this difference, my friend? This is called more conservative or less conservative. So do you understand? Shear stress theory is more conservative than von Mises theory. Write it down, my friend. Shear stress theory is more conservative. Shear stress theory is more conservative than von Mises theory. Why? Because in case of shear stress theory, dimensions should be more, my friend. Okay, very simple to understand. Whenever you have two theories of failure and you want to compare them, less safe area, okay, when you draw the safe area, less safe area means more conservative. Less safe area means more conservative. See, in case of shear stress theory and von Mises theory, which one has less area? Which one has less area? Shear stress theory has less area. Shear stress theory has less area. Less safe area means more conservative. So which one is more conservative? Shear stress theory. Okay, and more conservative means bigger dimensions. More conservative means bigger dimensions. So if you design the same element using both these theory, in which case you will get bigger dimension? In this case. In which case you will get smaller dimension? This case. So do you understand this? Note this down. You have to memorize this because you will see conceptual question. Okay, out of shear stress theory and von Mises theory, which is more conservative? Which is more conservative? Shear stress theory. Why? Because it has less area. The safe region of shear stress theory has less area, so it is more conservative. And if it is more conservative, means dimensions will be bigger. Okay, if you are calculating diameter, you will get bigger diameter in this case, smaller diameter in this case. So that is the difference between both these theories. This theory is more accurate. This theory is more accurate. So if you want accuracy, you will use this. But this theory is simpler, it is very easy to use, and it is also safer. Okay, so do you understand the difference? Do you understand the difference, my friend? All right, my friend. So in case of ductile material, we have two theories of failure. Sometimes this is used, sometimes this is used. Okay, so we have to remember, for brittle material, normal stress theory. For ductile material, shear stress theory as well as von Mises theory, my friend. Do you understand that? Okay, my friend. So now, my friend, I gave you a very important concept related to theory of failure. Which theory will be used in which case? And I also explained how to compare two different theories of failure. Okay. Now let's see some other concepts related to theories of failure. Okay. So points to remember. Points to remember. And I want you to note these points down, because you will see 1 mark theory question from these points. These are very interesting points. Okay, points to remember about theories of failure. Okay, so the first point that you need to remember is, out of all 5 theories of failure, we have 5 theories of failure. Out of 5 theories of failure, which one is most conservative? Maximum shear stress theory. Maximum shear stress theory is most conservative out of all 5. If you compare all 5, which is most conservative? Maximum shear stress theory is most conservative theory. Okay, second one, second point, this is also an interesting point. For uniaxial stress, all theories of failure give same result. All theories of failure give the same result. What is uniaxial stress? Uniaxial stress means this. There is only one sigma. Okay, there is only one sigma, nothing else. Okay, so in this case, all theories of failure will give the same result. If you use all theories of failure, you will get the same result. My friend, in this case, what will be the principal stresses? Sigma 1 will be sigma, sigma 2 will be 0, sigma 3 will be 0. So in all 5 theories of failure, you will get the same result. What result? This result. And if you don't believe me, put these values, sigma 1 equals to sigma, sigma 2 equals to 0, sigma 3 equals to 0. Put these values in the theories of failure, in the equations of theories of failure, and find the result, find the end result. You will get the same result according to all 5 theories of failure. Sigma equals to SYT by FOS. Do you understand this? Second point, for uniaxial stress, you don't need theory of failure. You have a direct relation. Sigma equals to SYT by FOS. Okay. Why we use theory of failure? For biaxial stress and triaxial stress. Do you understand this? Very good, my friend. Hit the like button. If you have joined late, please hit the like button. Okay, appreciate what I am telling you. Okay, please appreciate, please cooperate, and don't forget to share this video with all your friends. Okay, I want all of you to share these videos with all your friends, my friend. I want these videos to reach to maximum number of students. Okay, all right, my friend. So the third point about theories of failure, and this is also another very interesting point. In case of under hydrostatic stress, what is hydrostatic stress, my friend? What is hydrostatic stress? This is hydrostatic stress. This is hydrostatic stress. This one is hydrostatic stress. If there is sigma in all three direction and no tau, all three sigma x, sigma y, sigma z, all three are equal and there is no tau, this is hydrostatic stress. So under hydrostatic stress, von Mises theory and maximum shear stress theory. Under hydrostatic stress, von Mises theory and maximum shear stress theory is not applicable. Why it is not applicable, my friend? In this case, all the three principal stresses are going to be equal. Okay, and there will be no shear. If all the stresses are equal, principal stresses are equal, there will be no shear. In case of hydrostatic stress, there is no shear, and if there is no shear, there will be no shear stress, there will be no energy due to shear stress. So von Mises theory and shear stress theory both will be not valid in case of hydrostatic stress. Look at the equation. What is the equation of von Mises theory, my friend? Sigma 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square minus sigma 1 2 plus 2 3 plus 3 1, right? This is the equation, equals to SYT by FOS whole square. This is the equation, right? Put sigma 1 2 3 equals to sigma. Put sigma 1 2 3, all are equal to sigma. What you will get? This thing will become 0. This thing will become 0. Why? Because if there is no shear, what will be the shear strain energy? 0 shear strain energy. Okay, shear strain energy is the energy due to shear, due to distortion. If there is no shear, if there is no distortion, there will be no energy. So von Mises theory is not applicable. Shear stress theory is also not applicable. In which case, hydrostatic stress. So understand these points related to theories of failure. You will get theory questions from these points. Okay, all right, my friends. So these were important concepts related to theories of failure. Now, my friend, we need to solve some numericals also. Okay, we need to solve some numericals based on theories of failure. Okay, so let's solve some numericals based on theories of failure. I will try to solve different types of numerical. Now, the first type of numerical, which is the most important type of numerical, because you will see most numericals on theory of failure like this. Okay, so let's solve this. Let's say principal stresses are given. Sigma 1 is equal to 200 megapascal, sigma 2 equals to 120 megapascal, sigma 3 equals to minus 40 megapascal. Let's say principal stresses are given, yield strength of the material is given. Okay, let's say we have ductile material, so yield strength is given 600 megapascal and Poisson's ratio is given. You need Poisson's ratio in two cases. You need Poisson's ratio in two cases. In which case? In case of maximum shear stress theory, in case of strain energy theory and normal strain theory. In other cases, you don't need mu, but in strain energy theory and normal strain theory, you need mu. So let's say mu is equal to, let's say 0.3. Okay, let's say mu is equal to 0.3. Calculate factor of safety according to all theories of failure. Okay, we have 5 theories of failure. Calculate the factor of safety and you will see most of the question based on theory of failure are like this. They will give you principal stress, they will give you strength, and they will ask you to calculate factor of safety. Solve this question. You know the relation of all 5 theories of failure. Solve the relation and find the factor of safety, my friend. Okay, do it on your own. Do it on your own. Solve this and find the factor of safety according to all 5 theories of failure. Solve this problem. Very easy problem, my friend. Very easy problem. I want you to solve this on your own so that you will be able to understand the theories. Okay. If you solve this on your own, you will be able to understand the relation, how to use that relation. Okay. So what is the first theory? Maximum normal stress theory, right? Maximum normal stress theory. MNST, maximum normal stress theory. Okay. So what is the first theory? Sigma maximum equal to SYT by FOS. And what is sigma maximum? Maximum of sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. So which one is maximum? This one is maximum 200. So put it here 200. What is SYT? 600. So from here, what will be the factor of safety, my friend? 600 by 200. Factor of safety will be equal to 3. Do you understand this? Very easy, my friend. Second one, maximum shear stress theory. Okay, maximum shear stress theory. So what is the relation of maximum shear stress theory? Tau maximum equals to SYT by 2FOS, right? This is the relation according to maximum shear stress theory. Tau maximum equals to SYT by 2FOS. Now what is tau maximum? Sigma 1 minus 2 by 2. Maximum of tau maximum is, we have seen this in principal stresses. Tau maximum is maximum of sigma 1 minus 2 by 2, 2 minus 3 by 2 and 3 minus 1 by 2. So which one will be maximum, my friend? Which one will be maximum? 200 minus 120, 120 minus minus 40 or minus 40 minus 200. And don't worry about the sign. Don't worry about the sign, okay? So which one will be maximum? 3 minus 1 by 2 or 1 minus 3 by 2? That will be maximum. So it will be like this. 200 minus minus 40 divided by 2. Minus 40 minus 200, you can write it like that also because the sign doesn't matter. The sign doesn't matter, okay? Factor of safety is not going to be negative. So what will be SYT, my friends? 600 divided by factor of safety. So what will be factor of safety in this case? Sorry, this will be 2. So 2 and 2 will be cancelled. 600 by 240, it will be 2.5. It will be 2.5. So this is the factor of safety according to maximum shear stress theory. Then my friend, the third one, maximum strain energy theory. Tell me the factor of safety. Tell me the factor of safety. You have the equation. You just have to put the value in the equation. You have the equation, my friend. What is the equation? What is the equation according to strain energy theory? Sigma 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 2 plus 2 3 plus 3 1 equal to SYT by FOS whole square. So you have all the values, only FOS is required. So put the value, solve the relation and tell me what will be the factor of safety. Tell me what will be the answer, my friend. Tell me after putting the values, what will you get in factor of safety? Sigma 1, 2, 3 all are given. 200, 120, sigma 3 is minus 40. Sigma 3 is minus 40. Okay. So put the value. Mu is also given 0.3. In this theory of failure, you need the Poisson's ratio 0.3. So put the value of Poisson's ratio 0.3 and calculate the factor of safety. What you are getting? Tell me what will be the factor of safety, my friends. Tell me what will be the factor of safety. Put the value of factor of safety and tell me what will be the answer. Tell me what will be the answer. What will be the factor of safety? So the factor of safety is equal to how much? It should be 2.7. It should be 2.7. Okay. Factor of safety will be equal to 2.7, my friend. Okay. Now, my friend, maximum distortion energy theory. The fourth one, maximum distortion energy theory. Fourth one is maximum distortion energy theory. So put the values in this relation. Sigma 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square minus sigma 1 2 plus 2 3 plus 3 1. Only just replace 2 mu. Okay, just remove 2 mu and you will get the relation of distortion energy theory equals to SYT by FOS whole square. So these two relations are very similar. You only have to remove 2 mu. Okay. Now put the values in this relation and tell me what will be factor of safety. Tell me what will be the factor of safety according to distortion energy theory. Calculate it and tell me, my friend. Use your calculators. You just have to put the values in the equation and use your calculator. Okay. Now tell me what will be the answer, my friend. Tell me what will be the answer. So factor of safety according to this theory, maximum distortion energy theory, is equal to 2.83. It is equal to 2.83, my friend. Okay. Now, my friend, the last one, maximum normal strain theory. The last one, maximum normal strain theory. Now, my friend, which one is maximum? Sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. Which one is maximum? Sigma 1. So epsilon 1 will be maximum. Okay. So what is the relation? Epsilon max equals to SYT by E FOS. Epsilon maximum will be epsilon 1. Okay. And what will be epsilon 1? Sigma 1 by E minus mu sigma 2 by E minus mu sigma 3 by E. This will be equal to SYT by E FOS. This E will be cancelled. Put the values here, my friend. What is sigma 1? 200 minus 0.3 into 120. Sigma 3 is negative. So negative and negative will become positive. So it will become plus 0.3 into 40 equal to SYT. What is SYT? 600 divided by factor of safety. So from here, what you will get, my friend? From here, tell me what will be the factor of safety. Tell me what will be the factor of safety. It should be around 1.85. 1.85. Okay. So this is the factor of safety according to, this is the factor of safety according to all different theories of failure, my friend. Okay. One sec. I made some mistake. This will not be 1.85, my friend. Okay. Solve this, my friend. Solve this. What will you get? Solve this, what will you get? Solve this, what will you get? Solve this and tell me the answer. It will not be 1.85, it will be something else. I don't have a calculator right now, so you just solve this. You just have to put the values and solve it, okay? So these are the factor of safeties according to different theories of failure, okay? So most of the questions based on theories of failure will be like this. You will get the principal stresses, you will get the yield strength, you will get the Poisson's ratio. In case of distortion and strain energy theory and normal strain theory, in these two theories, third one and fifth one, you need mu. Otherwise, you don't need mu. For other three theories of failure, you don't need mu. Only strain energy theory and normal strain theory, you need mu. So in these cases, you will also get mu and you will require factor of safety. Okay. So you can easily calculate what will be the factor of safety, my friend. Okay. The fifth one, let's calculate it. Calculate it, what will you get? It will be 600 divided by 200 minus 0.3 into 120 plus 0.3 into 40. 3.4. It is 3.4. Yes, it is 3.4, my friend. Okay. So this is the factor of safety according to all 5 theories of failure, my friend. Okay. So this was the first question, very easy question. Okay. Now let's move on to the second question. Okay. Let's move on to the second question. Let's move on to the second question, and this second question is also very important, my friend, and there will be a concept in this second question. Okay. So let's say the state of stress at a point is given. Okay, let's say the state of stress at a point is given. Let's say this is 150 megapascal. Okay, let's say this is 150 megapascal. Let's say this is 70 megapascal, 30 megapascal. Okay, so the state of stress is given and you need to calculate, find equivalent stress. Find equivalent stress according to von Mises theory. Find equivalent stress according to von Mises theory. Okay, find equivalent stress according to von Mises theory. State of stress is given. What you need to calculate? You need to calculate the equivalent stress. Now first you need to understand what is equivalent stress. Okay, first you need to understand what is equivalent stress. So let me explain what is equivalent stress. Okay, so let's say we have a biaxial or triaxial state of stress. Okay, let's say we have a biaxial or triaxial state of stress. Okay, let's say we have three principal stresses. Okay, let's say we have three principal stresses: sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. Okay, so we have three stresses in three different directions right now. If I replace it with a single stress, if I replace it with a single stress, then that single stress is known as sigma equivalent. So do you understand what is sigma equivalent? Right now there is triaxial stress. If I convert it into uniaxial stress, if I convert triaxial stress into uniaxial stress, then that single stress is known as sigma equivalent. Okay, now my friend, what will be the equation in this case? What will be the equation in this case? Sigma 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square minus sigma 1 2 plus 2 3 plus 3 1. Okay, equal to SYT by FOS whole square. Okay, and what is the equation in this case? Sigma equivalent equals to SYT by FOS. This will be the relation in this case, right? You are converting this relation into this condition into this condition. This is the equation according to von Mises theory in this case, and this is the equation in this case. Okay, now my friend, you need to calculate sigma equivalent. What you do? Very simple. Just replace SYT by FOS with sigma equivalent. Just put the value of SYT by FOS here in sigma equivalent. So what is SYT by FOS? SYT by FOS is sigma equivalent. Here it was SYT by FOS whole square. Okay, so what it will become? It will become sigma equivalent whole square. Okay, so this will become your equation of sigma equivalent. Do you understand it? Do you understand it? How you can calculate sigma equivalent? Just replace SYT by FOS with sigma equivalent and you can find a sigma equivalent according to any theory of failure. Here we have to find equivalent stress according to von Mises theory, but you can find it according to any theory. What you need to do? Just replace SYT by FOS with sigma equivalent. Okay, so let's find the equivalent stress. Now before finding equivalent stress, we need to find principal stress. So let's calculate principal stress first. Okay, in any problem of theory of failure, you have to first find out principal stresses. Okay, so here what do we have? Sigma x 150, sigma y 70 and tau xy 30. Okay, we have this and we need to calculate principal stress. What is the equation? Sigma 1 2 equals to sigma x plus sigma y by 2 plus minus root over sigma x minus sigma y by 2 whole square plus tau xy square. Okay, so put the values in this equation and tell me what will be sigma 1 and sigma 2. Okay, I am calculating it on my calculator. You calculate it on your own and tell me what will be sigma 1 and sigma 2. Okay, so this is your first step. Calculate principal stress. Okay, so what will be the principal stress? 150 plus 70, it will be 220 by 2. So 110 plus root over 150 minus 70. 80 means 40 square plus 30 square. 30 square. So it will be 160. It will be 160 and sigma 2. Sigma 2 will be how much, my friend? Sigma 2 will be equal to 60. Okay, 160 and 60, my friend. And what will be sigma 3? It is a biaxial stress. Look at this. It is a biaxial stress. And in case of biaxial stress, sigma 3 is always 0. So sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. Okay. Now, my friend, what is the relation of von Mises theory for biaxial stress? If you put sigma 3 equals to 0, you will get sigma 1 square plus 2 square minus sigma 1 sigma 2 equals to SYT by FOS whole square. And you need to calculate equivalent stress. And I told you what you do to calculate equivalent stress. Replace SYT by FOS with sigma equivalent. Just put SYT by FOS equal to sigma equivalent. Okay. So this will become 160 square plus 60 square minus 160 into 60 equal to sigma equivalent square. So from here you will get the value of sigma equivalent. So what is sigma equivalent, my friend? It is equal to 140 megapascal. So equivalent stress according to von Mises theory in this case is 140 megapascal. So do you understand this? Right now there is sigma x, sigma y and tau xy. I have converted it into a single sigma. So what will be a single sigma? 140 megapascal. Do you understand this? Do you understand this? Very good, my friend. Very good. Now, my friend, let's solve a problem of equivalent stress according to different theory of failure. Okay, this time we will use a different theory of failure. So let's say you have sigma 1 and sigma 2. Let's say you have sigma 1 equals to 80 megapascal, sigma 2 equals to 20 megapascal, sigma 3 is 0. Find the equivalent stress according to Saint Venant's theory. Find equivalent stress according to Saint Venant's theory. This time you have to calculate equivalent stress according to Saint Venant's theory. What is Saint Venant's theory, my friend? Saint Venant's theory means maximum normal strain theory. Okay, so apply normal strain theory and tell me what will be the equivalent stress. Okay, what is the equation according to normal strain theory? Epsilon max equals to SYT by EFOS. Okay, so what will be epsilon max? Epsilon 1, 2 or 3? Which one is sigma max? Sigma 1, sigma 2 or sigma 3? Which one is sigma max? Sigma 1. So which one will be epsilon max? Epsilon 1. And what will be epsilon 1? Sigma 1 by E minus mu sigma 2 by equal to SYT by EFOS. E will be cancelled, right? What is sigma 1? 80. What is mu? Sorry, I didn't give you value of mu. Mu is 0.25. Mu is 0.25. Okay, so mu is 0.25 multiplied by sigma 2 20 equal to, now SYT by FOS. SYT by FOS will be sigma equivalent. Just replace SYT by FOS with sigma equivalent. So what will be sigma equivalent here, my friend? It will become 75 megapascal. So do you understand this? This is sigma equivalent according to maximum normal strain theory or Saint Venant's theory, my friend. Okay, so these are the numericals based on theories of failure. We have just started. Okay, there are some more numericals. Right now we have solved a very simple type of numerical. Okay, we have numericals based on design also. Okay, where you will need to calculate the dimensions of the body using theories of failure. Calculate the dimensions of the body. Okay, so we will solve those numericals tomorrow. Okay, theories of failure is not finished. Theories of failure is not finished, my friend. We have still some more concepts related to theories of failure, and we have still some more numericals to solve. So we will solve them tomorrow, my friend. Okay, so this was all for today's class, my friend. I hope you remember what we studied today. So we saw the three theories of failure today: maximum normal strain theory, maximum strain energy theory, and the most important, von Mises theory. So you need to memorize the names of all theories of failure. You need to memorize the equations of all theories of failure, and you also need to remember the shapes of all theories of failure. Okay, so these things you need to memorize, and you need to understand how to solve problems. Okay, and we also saw how to compare their safe region. Okay, so these are the conceptual topics. You will get conceptual questions from this topic. Okay, and you will also get numericals based on theories of failure, my friend. Okay, so this was all for today's class. We will continue theories of failure tomorrow also. Remember, my friend, I am going to complete the entire syllabus of strength of material. Okay, sorry, I have completed the entire syllabus of strength of material. I am going to complete the entire syllabus of machine design. I have completed complete syllabus of strength of material. There is a playlist of strength of material. You will find 27 lectures there. Okay, entire syllabus of strength of material is completed. So whenever you have any doubt, my friend, just open that playlist and watch the video, and your doubts will all gone, my friend. Okay, so you can read the entire playlist of strength of material. You can read the entire syllabus of strength of material there. You can learn any concept of strength of material, and in the same way we are going to complete the entire syllabus of machine design also. Okay, we have just started. Yesterday was the first lecture, today is the second lecture. We will complete the entire syllabus by the end of this month. The entire machine design will be over. Okay, so watch these videos every day, my friend. Okay, I will be online every day at 7:30 p.m. with a new lecture of machine design. So tell your friends also to join. Okay, you have to share these videos with all your friends, my friend. Tell them to be online every day at 7:30 p.m. my friend. Okay, and my friend, if you learn new concepts with me, if you want to learn more, then my friend, join Unacademy Plus, because on YouTube I don't get a lot of time. On YouTube I don't get a lot of time. On Unacademy Plus we have ample amount of time. On Unacademy Plus there is an excellent communication between the student and the teacher. Okay, you can communicate directly with me. You can send your doubts, you can send your questions to me. Okay, so there is a huge difference between YouTube and Unacademy Plus. Just take some special classes. Special classes are free of cost. Take some special classes and you will understand the difference, my friend. And if you like Unacademy Plus and if you want to learn from us, there are a lot of educators on Unacademy Plus, more than 100 educators, my friend, who are teaching for GATE and engineering services. Okay, so if you want to learn from us, then subscribe to Unacademy Plus. Take 1 year or 2 year subscription because they cost less, my friend. And don't forget to use this code, my friend. Okay, this is a very important code because you will get 10% discount by using this code. You will get 10% discount by using this code. And my friend, if you have any doubts, then you can email me, or you can also send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. I am present on Facebook or Instagram, so you can send me a message there also, and you can ask me anything related to Unacademy Plus or related to any payment procedure, anything, my friend. Okay, so if you have any doubts, just email me. A lot of students are joining every day, my friend. We have just recently launched a new batch, and in a few days we will launch another batch. Okay, so don't waste your time. Okay, don't waste your time. Join that batch and start your preparation, my friend. A lot of students have already joined, my friend. Due to this lockdown, we don't know when the classrooms will start. Okay, when the classrooms will be open. So don't waste your time and join Unacademy Plus as soon as possible. Okay, the cost is very less, my friend. 60 rupees per day. 1 year subscription only costs 60 rupees per day. Okay, so use this code, and if you have any doubt related to this, if you want to know more, email me. Don't forget to email me, my friend. Okay, all right, my friend. So this was all for today's lecture. I will see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow at the same time, 7:30 p.m. my friend. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video.